If you're gonna do a White Stripes review, you at least gotta do it in the right colors. What's up everyone? Welcome to a throwback review right here on ARTV. My name is John and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's actually turned into my favorite album from indie rock, garage rock outfit, the White Stripes, that really just helped define this movement that was going on in the early 2000s. Just one of the most, raw and kind of chaotic sounds, but at the same time still grounded and just the love of rock and roll music. It's Elephant by the White Stripes. This is my vinyl copy right here that I got near the end of last year. You can see the gateway fold out there for it and everything. The tracks on this record, I normally don't do this, but since it's a throwback review, we've got Seven Nation Army, Black Math, There's No Home for You Here, I Just Don't Know What to Do with Myself, In the Cold, Cold Night, I Want to Be the Boy to Warm Your Mother's Heart, You've Got Her in Your Pocket, Ball and Biscuit, The Hardest Button to Button, Little Acorns, Hypnotize, The Air Near My Fingers, Girl, You Have No Faith in Medicine, and It's True That We Love One Another. Even though it says it on the back of that sleeve, I didn't need that to tell me that this album is all about the death of a relationship. Things going south, because all over the place it's either Jack White kind of yearning or vying for the affection, or just coming across so bitter, and it's sometimes a little bit hard to read, a little bit manic. Every single song on this album is fucking fantastic. There is not a flaw to be found in this record, at least through the ears that I'm hearing it with. From the squealing guitar solo on Ball and Biscuit, the epic 7-minute song that is just easily one of my favorite songs of all time, to the little bit sarcastic There's No Home for You Here, and the gang vocals that show up on that one and just sound so phenomenal, to just the kind of sarcastic and witty outro, It's True That We Love One Another. And then of course you've got something like The Air Near My Fingers, which has one of my favorite guitar parts along with Little Acorns on the entire album. Every single song has something that I love about it, even though some of these tracks aren't as in your face and as up front with the sound. It's something that I feel ends up being a slow burn in the long run, something that just kind of grips you anyways. It doesn't have to be this furious, fast-paced thing, or maybe one of the singles like Seven Nation Army, which was one of the biggest smashes of the 2000s. Still to this day, if you go to a bar or something, you're gonna hear Seven Nation Army get played at some point, and you're probably thinking to yourself, oh yeah, I've heard that song. If you're thinking to yourself you've heard that, and maybe one of their other songs like Blue Orchid or something that got used in a couple of movies or something like that, and you're thinking, should I hear more? The answer is absolutely yes, without a doubt. What are you waiting for? There's a link to this album in the description. Jack White is easily one of the best guitarists of all time. He shows his intricate work on tracks like Hypnotize and Little Acorns, like I mentioned, and then even on the slower tracks he shows that he can still capture your attention, like on Black Math, the da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. He creates these rhythms that just kind of get stuck in your head, even though you don't really think that you probably initially at least won't think that they will. Jack White is easily one of the greatest guitarists of this century, and I think he brought so much to the game, so much that changed rock music in the early 2000s, and there were so many people that mimicked the White Stripes' style and even their image to some extent. They were a duo. There's someone that went obviously with the black, white, and red coloring on all of their stuff, and I thought that was really cool. And with the music that they presented, it was always in a similar vein. I don't think the White Stripes, even on their last album, Icky Thump, ever lost themselves, and they always had something that was holding the structure together, if you will. I even love the track that Meg White sings on this album called In the Cold, Cold Night. It's got this slow building and looping guitar, and it never really gets any more chaotic, and there's never anything more to it, but there doesn't need to be. It's one of those short little tracks and you just listen to it and you're like, wow, that was actually kind of great. I like how even though this album is primarily about relationships and that sort of thing, they're able to work in other things into the themes of this record and make it be applicable to multiple situations. For example, Seven Nation Army could be about a lot of different things. There's a lot of themes on there, and I like that a lot of the time it comes off as kind of zany and off the wall if you don't read into it. Obviously, the White Stripes being one of the first bands that I ever got into. At first, I didn't exactly understand what was going on. I didn't really read too much into the lyrics, and not that I do. I don't sit here and analyze lyrics while I'm listening to the White Stripes necessarily. The Hardest Button to Button is one of those. It probably is one of their most well-known songs, but seriously, listen to the lyrics on that thing, and it's kind of like all over the place and choppy, but at the same time, if you read into it, I feel like there's a lot more going on below the surface that some people might not pick up on. Little Acorns is one of those almost motivational styled songs. I like the little speech that they included in the beginning of that. I think that's from something, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't just recorded for the album, but they're talking about how this woman saw the squirrel gathering up for the winter ahead, the harsh winter, and she's like, if that squirrel can take care of itself, I can get myself back together and take care of myself. And then the guitar cuts in, and then it's just a very hard-hitting White Stripes song. It's one of their best songs ever, honestly. I like how a couple of tracks on Elephant speak about control in a relationship, seemingly. The first of those being Hypnotize, and another one of those being You've Got Her in Your Pocket. I've got nothing but praise to lay upon Elephant. If you like something that's just absolutely mesmerizing, intricately worked, and just well performed all around, then you're gonna love this album if you've never heard it before. It came out in 2003 originally. It's hard to believe that it's 12 years old at this point. It makes me feel old as hell, but I hope you guys will check it out. Jack and Meg White as a duo just always came together and made something totally unique. As a duo, they were just unmatched and untouched, really, still to this day. They made music that holds up well over the years. I've been listening to their albums like White and Blood Cells, Elephant, Get Behind Me, Satan since the mid-2000s, and it's something that I still love to throw on to this day. I hope you guys will check out Elephant. For me personally, obviously, this is a 5 out of 5 and a total classic. Let me know some of your favorite memories or else some of your favorite tracks and moments on Elephant by the White Stripes in the comment section down below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you would like to see more throwback reviews, because I'm going to try to bring that back on a more regular basis. I'm doing a few this week. I recorded them in advance while I'm out of town. There'll probably be 2 or 3 throwbacks and then maybe 1 regular review, so I hope you enjoy it. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you very soon right here on ARTV.